very, very happy to welcome back to the program our good friend Colin Turner. This book, The Open Economy, is your second book. Is that right, Colin?
Yes, it is, yes.
We're clapping for you over there.
Yeah, I know that.
Audience participation. Yeah. Colin, congratulations.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. As you know, I was on to you before with the previous novel that I wrote, F-Day, which is actually sold very well. It's available on Amazon. One of the things that happened when I was writing that novel was because it was kind of promoting a world without money, and it was like a fictional presentation of that idea, that it caused me to sort of have to work through any of the challenges that how you would create a world like that. And so I ended up with this book, which is actually which is sort of an offshoot of that, it's not a fiction book. It's like a ladybird book, if you like, guide to the moneyless world. And it basically it goes through all the different stages and all the different possible problems and challenges that people would face into building a world without money. So, for example, you have there's chapters on how you would change the education system. There's chapters about how you would deal with private property, how you would deal with like racism or all these other things that are kind of common currency in nowadays in our life nowadays. So it kind of addresses all these questions in a very simple sort of short book.
I like the size of this book. It looks like something that I can muster.
Yeah. And actually, it's actually free to download. If you go to the Free World Charter website, you can actually download this book for free, or you can get it from Amazon for €3. So it's very cheap. So it's not a money-making project. It's just it's a way of
an awareness project.
Yeah.
I find that I'm surprised that the protagonism that money has when it doesn't even exist. Money doesn't represent even gold in the bank anymore. It literally is just pieces of paper.
What it is, it's a shared belief. We all believe that certain thing has a value, so therefore we transact using that shared belief. But of course, a belief is not anything that's based in physical reality. And we're seeing also that the likes of Bitcoin and something like that is coming on stream. A lot of people are starting to talk about Bitcoin and using it. And again, it's a shared belief. It's the numbers on a computer. It doesn't really exist. So part of what the stuff that I write about and what this book is about is that moving away from the idea of shared imaginary beliefs in value and actually looking towards real value, which is value in people, value in objects, value in resources, and value in time. These are things that have real value in the real world. Everything else is just is like an imaginary value, you know. So,
but as you say, when it's a shared belief and something that not only that we've been brought up with, but is actually being intensified. When I was a little girl, you could have a bank account if you wanted to, but nowadays to do anything, if you don't have a bank account, you can't do anything. And the other day I wanted to join a gym, and they told me if I didn't pay the first payment with a credit card, I couldn't join. And it's like, but why?
Yeah, it's insane.
You can't pay your mortgage in cash. It has to be. So we've come a long way from what the initial, as I understood it, representation of money meant. Do you think it's achievable
yes,
in any
absolutely.
foreseeable future?
Absolutely, it is achievable in the foreseeable future. But what it requires all it actually requires to do the open economy, is what I call it. We just have to change our priorities the way we are now, because at the moment we prioritize ourselves first. And we all prioritize our jobs or our homes or our cars, that sort of stuff. But if we actually, there's a chapter on this about priorities, because it's really important. Because how we prioritize our lives now, if you imagine your top 10 priorities, like your job or your income might be the top of that priority, or your relationship or something like that, which is fine. But we don't prioritize our local community very highly at all, and we don't prioritize the environment very highly at all either. But really, these two things need to be up in the top 5 of our priorities all the time, because if we all live in a community that supports each other, then we don't need to actually engage in this trading thing that we've been doing for centuries, which is obviously bringing loads of real problems in the environment and bringing social problems. We have we have poverty, and you have all sorts of social injustice, and all these things are created by this trading system that we use, you know. But if we can just reprioritize community and reprioritize the environment, then we start to see things differently, and we start to behave differently. And
it means, I think, the community maybe being more interactive. We've all become very passive in anything except for our own self-survival and enrichment.
Of course, yeah. One of the other thing that's come from this book is I discovered that there would be a need to create like an online platform for people to engage with each other, to be able to provide services and goods to each other. And so we actually built a web platform like that, and it's actually active now. It's called freeworlder.com. And what this is it's a place where people can go on and offer and receive anything that they want to do. It's not an exchange site. You don't get points or anything like that for doing that, but it's a way of, if you have something that you want to give, you give that into the community, someone can receive that, or if you find something useful from that website, you can take that.
And does that work on a local basis, on a worldwide basis?
It's a global basis. We have like about 55,000 members there already.
Well done.
Yeah, so we have, so it's basically, there's no barter, there's no exchange, it's basically you give or you get, and there's no obligation to do one or the other, to one or the other. But how it will work eventually on a global scale is if we all engage in that kind of thing. If we all engage in groups where we're sharing unconditionally, then we can all actually look after each other. We can all have the things that we need and that we want to have good, fulfilling lives. So.
Well, that sounds like a world that I certainly want to live in. Colin, we're going to support you because we want to live in that world. Colin Turner, the new book, The Open Economy. It's also available to download online from Amazon?
No, you can get it from Amazon, also from the Free World Charter site. You can download it for free.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
For giving us your time and your insight.
No problem. Thank you very much.